Tom was always loving to read. He loved to learn. He loved to talk about science and anything that was in his mind. He had a great sense of humor. People always comment about how happy he was all the time, always chattering, always willing to help, kind of bouncy personality. He was crazy about science, so anything regarding aeronautical things, chemistry, science. He loved the mad science classes. He wasn't so big on sports. It wasn't one of his deals. He preferred to sit inside with a book in his hands and read. He loved to play the cello. He was learning to play cello and he was learning to play flute. He had a to-do list on his wall in his bedroom every night, and it was to, of course, pray for his unborn baby. He had to do, I can't remember how many sit-ups and push-ups, so he was working on those things, yes. And he had to do his homework and, yeah, pick up, brush his teeth, those sorts of things. It was about Christmas time. It was on Christmas break that he was telling us about being picked on, and he didn't really want to go back to school after Christmas break. And then that day he came home from school and came off the school bus. He came into the house, threw his backpack down. I was downstairs on the computer because my daughter was graduating from college and we were looking for flights to get to Florida for her graduation. So I didn't see him that day, that afternoon. And he went out to the barn and he cut the rope off of his sled and he hung himself. The next day, the school bus would drive up the driveway, and he was the first child on the bus. It was just a little bus. So I went out to the bus driver because she would have waited. And I told her, you know, that Tom had taken his own life, and she just looked at me with this incredible look on her face. I can still see it. And it's like, well, didn't you know? He said he was going to. The kids were so mean. And I'm like, no, he didn't say anything to me. I didn't know anything about it. And I was just in shock. I was in shock that she knew that there was a problem going on. I was in shock about everything. It was just like a nightmare. I went to the school that morning because we had to report it. And they, of course, were compassionate. You know, we talked with them for a while, and they didn't know anything about incidences on the school bus or anything. And so we just picked up his stuff from the lockers and that, and went home, and you know, we had the funeral. And it was, I don't know, maybe a week or so after that, somebody had called us. An article had been written about one of the crisis counselors that had been called into the school. And somebody at the school, one of the kids, had gone to him and said that the kids were teasing him on the bus and that they were telling him different ways that he should take his life. And I was just shocked. I was shocked to the extent of what was happening, and I didn't know anything about it. And I was upset that the bus driver had listened to it all and didn't report it at all. I had to do something because this bill is just not going to help kids like Tom. This bill is not a true bill to protect children. There's no parental notification. There's not a requirement for that. The bus driver didn't report anything. She took something away from me, and I forgive her for that. But if I had known what was going on that bus, I could have done something. It's my right as a parent to be able to protect my child, to intercede for my child in the way that I feel is best for my child. I think that the very fact of having anonymous reporting sets up the environment to encourage bullying. When you've got the anonymous bully or reporting, you don't know. Kids are smart, they can work the system. Eventually they're going to figure out that they can falsely accuse a child of doing an activity or saying something. I think that the definition of bullying is extremely vague. It lists groups of kids that are possible, victims of bullying, possible targets. But in the process of doing that, you're eliminating other groups of children. So it just will shift the focus of bullying from one group of children to another group of children. It does not do anything to protect all children. All children need protection from bullying. It doesn't need to be listed in a big paragraph form. Just say all children. That's how a bill should be written. It's inclusive of all children. We don't need to list groups of kids. This bill would do nothing to help Tom. It doesn't even classify Tom as one of the kids that would be in a group that would need protecting from bullying. He doesn't fit in any of that. And as I said, the bus driver didn't report anything. So in Tom's situation, even if there was this bill, we already have mandated reporters. That bus driver already is mandated to report. It didn't happen. I didn't get the opportunity to intercede for my child. I don't want that same thing to happen for other parents. I beg you to oppose this bill. As I said, this bill is not going to do anything to assist bullying. It's only going to complicate it more. These kids, whether they're the bully or the child that's being bullied, need a parent to be notified so that they can also be doing something at home.